So I found a really funny movie. If you're like me, someone specifically born in 1998, then you spent the extremely formative adolescent period of 10 to 14 years old during the exact period that the Twilight movies were released. There was a very real discussion in middle school on who was Team Edward and who was Team Jacob. I saw firsthand how these movies changed the brain chemistry of my peers. The Twilight Saga was like a water pipe lined with lead, and the whole country was sipping on that garden hose, because now you've got adult men doing red pill podcasts talking about how they have an alpha wolf mindset. And I think from the success of those movies, and more specifically the success of Taylor Lautner's abs, look at the shine on that washboard, alpha wolf romance is and will continue to be made until the end of time. And one of those movies we're talking about today, Call Me Alpha.
I can't let my wolf take control. Not now.
Listen, we gotta do something about this.
And it is a doozy. Sometimes I find these video topics because you guys either tag me in something or fill out my suggestion form. But the way I found out about this show, I will actually reveal at the end of the video because it's really funny and I think you're gonna like it. Now, I've done plenty of videos on ridiculous low-budget movies, but I've never had a proper look into the category that could most accurately be described as fan fiction shows. Shows that kind of feel like they were written by a 14-year-old who's parasocially obsessed with Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon and has a Wattpad account. You understand what I'm getting at here? And after discovering this movie, I was surprised to see that there is like an obscene amount of these shows. Just from the suggestions on IMDb when looking this movie up, there's plenty of options. The Alpha's Daughter, The Alpha's Rejected Mate, even Fatal Temptation. Between two alphas, clearly. And when I downloaded the app I needed to watch this show, Short TV, I realized that fan fiction shows are the only genre this app has, and they're all filmed vertically for phone screens, and the titles for them increasingly got weirder the longer I looked, such as The Female Janitor Revealed as Hidden Tycoon, or Why is Joe Like That, or Well, I'm Actually the Most Wealthy Lady. And of course, who could forget, Mommy, Don't Refuse Daddy This Time, huh? Well, what did he do? Either way, let's dive into the movie we're focusing on today, Call Me Alpha. The movie starts off with a castle in what looks like Europe. Next, we get a shot of an awesome VFX wolf that shows up in a mirror. There's a bottle of blood, I think. And this woman, who I believe is the main character, some dude's kissing her. Wait, before any information about the story happens, it's just immediately a makeout scene. For like almost a full minute. I think this is meant to be a hook for the target audience, you know, those who aren't there for the riveting plot and lore like myself. And this makes sense. If I was paying $50 of real legal tender to watch a fan fiction alpha wolf TV show made up of 77 individual minute-long episodes, I'd want to make sure my fiction was getting fanned. You know what I'm saying? So we formally meet our protagonist, Ashira, for the first time with this enchantress during something called a mapping ceremony. She's a rogue wolf, so she doesn't have a pack, so I think this ceremony is meant to like find her a place to live. She cuts her hand with a knife and smears it all over the map, and she's revealed to be something called a stealer.
A stealer? You're a stealer.
What is a stealer?
A stealer can have a pup with anyone, mate or not.
So we're getting a lot of wolf lore right off the bat. Apparently, this is a really bad situation for Ashira. But the enchantress seems kind of psyched about this the whole time.
Being a stealer, it sounds like a punishment. Who will choose me as a mate if they know that I can mate with others?
And you don't even know the worst part.
And guess what, bitch? It gets worse. Ashira's learning life-ruining information. This is the Enchantress's Super Bowl. So basically, Ashira's goal is to go and find her mate as soon as possible because I guess she's in a bunch of danger from, I guess, rogue, horny wolves who think she's their soulmate. So Ashira goes to the Prime Pack where there's a mating party going on. Crazy name for a party, by the way. You're not making it any more intellectual by just calling it mating. It's like, oh, we're mating. No, you're banging. This is a banging party. This is apparently a perfect time for her to be washing her clothes in a pond. And this is where she meets Aiden, the alpha of the Prime Pack. You can tell he's an alpha because his eyes grow all red and wolfy. Whoa. And also they give him a description when he shows up. Of course, this wouldn't be a wolf show if he didn't immediately take his shirt off and give it to Ashira.
You look cold. Take this.
That's like one of the main tenets of being a wolf guy. Doing hour-long planks every day and being able to easily find excuses to take your shirt off. That's like 95% of being a wolf guy, I think. And then he brings her back to the party because apparently this part of the land is off limits.
No, this part of the land's off limits. Go back to the guest house.
To be honest though, I'd probably say something like that too if I found someone randomly washing their shirt in a pond in my backyard. Please don't do your laundry in my pond. Come back to the party, please. Later on, Nick, who's the beta of the Prime Pack, bummer title to have, dude. That's a bummer title. Gives Ashira's information to Aiden because Aiden believes Ashira is his mate. But when she finds out she's a rogue, which is a wolf without a pack, he gives a very impassioned delivery of surprise.
A wolfless rogue Luna? Gotta be kidding me.
A wolfless rogue Luna? You gotta be kidding me. Next up, we meet one of the female members of the Prime Pack, Mila.
Hi,
Ashira, it's nice to meet you.
Yeah, look, I'm just here to tell you to keep your hands off my alpha.
Can you tell that she's a mean girl because they play mean girl reality TV music? Now that I think about it, it would be kind of sick if they made a reality TV show around a group of people that think they're a pack of wolves.
Greetings, fellow wolves. My name is Alpha Jared. I've been looking for my Luna, my mate, for most of my wolf life. I haven't found her yet, but I can sense her presence. I'm 32 in human years, but according to an online wolf to human year calculator, I'm considered to be about 172 in wolf years. Some might consider me to be an elder of the wolf community. I would agree with this notion. Am I how, you may ask? Let's just say it's immaculate.
So yeah, we've introduced Mila, already creating a little bit of drama around the pack, and Ashira has just gotten here. Later on at the party, we get a really strange interaction between practically every character that we've introduced at this point in one shot. Because you start off with Ashira and her friend Lucy hanging out, then Mila shows up to cause problems, then Nick shows up from the other side. Mila leaves, Nick asks Ashira to dance, and then Lucy leaves. They're dancing for like 2 seconds until Nick learns her name.
What was your name?
Ashira.
Then in comes Alpha Aiden out of nowhere, but then Mila is coming back to flirt with Aiden, which fails, so she leaves again, and it ends with just Ashira and Aiden. This whole sequence here happens in less than 30 seconds. And immediately after, talking less than 5 seconds, Ashira's getting pushed up a wall by Aiden. He basically complains that she danced with Nick, and her response is, well, first of all, not really, and also, why didn't you come up and dance with me first? And then his response is like it's like a 5-year-old boy.
But maybe if you had stepped forward, I would have been dancing with you.
It's my fault.
Yeah, dude, you gotta communicate these things. Also, how did we get here so quickly? The longest and only interaction that these two had was him giving her his shirt and then telling her that she couldn't be in his backyard. Maybe him giving the shirt was wolf culture for I wanna bang.
What do I do in my free time? Easy question. Baring my teeth, eating raw meat, and giving my shirts to rogue lunas that look cold. I'll be honest, a lot of my monthly budget is currently going to my wardrobe to replace my shirt. In my defense, that's the only way I know how to interact with lunas. It's seriously really frustrating. I keep having to pay for shirts. I haven't heard of a single other way to interact with lunas in all of wolf history. But if any wolves figure it out, please ping me on my WhatsApp. I'm really freaking lonely.
So basically Ashira's like, why won't you claim me? A little bit of lore, wolf woman, zero rights in this society. And he's like, I'm never gonna claim you. But then in the next scene, he's introducing her to Arya, who's like her assistant now or something, and tells her to make sure that no males go near her.
Don't let any males near her. Take that as a warning.
So what's the deal, Aiden? You got commitment issues, brother? Especially because after Nick comes in the room, Aiden freaks out at him because she danced with Ashira for like 2 seconds.
Hop up. Listen, we gotta do something about this.
I will say it's a little silly for Nick to try to cover his ass here by saying that he didn't know what Ashira looked like. You know, because he was the one who brought Aiden a full dossier about Ashira. You're telling me that he got all that information without figuring out what Ashira looked like? Come on, dude. Either way, the assistant takes Ashira to her new room, they have a short chat, and then Ashira asks,
Where is Aiden?
what are you talking about, Ashira? You just saw him. He's in the other room that you just came from? The room you just came from. So the next day, Nick and Aiden are talking at Nick's house about how Aiden needs to bang someone or he's gonna go crazy. He's got this whole thing going on about how he doesn't want his wolf to take control.
I can't let my wolf take control. Not now.
And Aiden's explanation is this.
I can control it. I'm the alpha. I'm just in heat.
So that's crazy that he's saying that.
I'm just in heat.
Male wolves do not go into heat. That's a biologically female trait. Aiden basically just said that he's ovulating. Maybe he doesn't understand what the word means. He's just been hearing people say it his whole life, and now he's like, that's what I have when I pee funny. It seems like it's affecting him pretty seriously though, because this whole scene, he's practically paralyzed in this position. Like, it doesn't look like he can move. Later on, Ashira is dress shopping with Arya for her first night with Aiden when she suddenly goes into full heat mode and falls into the arms of this dude Zeke. So she's rushed home and Aiden carries her upstairs and she's pretty much losing it at this point. But Aiden is like, still not gonna claim you. And also, you can't leave anymore. You're gonna stay in this house and you can't go anywhere.
It happened because you haven't claimed me. Why can't you just make it stop?
From now on, you're not allowed to leave this house.
I would rather be a rogue than trapped in here with you.
What's this dude's fucking deal? What's his trauma? Well, we actually find out. Both of his parents died in a war. But I'll be honest, I'm assuming that the usage of the word war here is implying a bunch of plainclothes people pretending to be wolves scratching each other in a public park. I don't think this was like Vietnam, although Wolf Vietnam would have been crazy. Either way, Aiden's got trauma, he's got trust issues, and he's about as emotionally stable as you'd expect from a guy that pretends to be a wolf and calls himself Alpha, aka he's not. But they talk about his trauma, and now Aiden actually decides to claim Ashira by like biting her on the neck. Obviously that's how it's done. That's what I learned in school. Until they're interrupted by an emergency.
What's wrong?
How did he know specifically what emergency was going on? Is he like a Bene Gesserit wolf? Is he Lisan Alpha Gaib? Apparently Zeke from the store and a bunch of rogue wolves had just attacked the Prime Pack. They killed like 6 people, but all of this happened off screen. Also, for future reference, they don't show a single fight on screen. They only show the aftermath. So the most substance of the action we get is a bunch of wolf dudes threatening each other and changing their eye color, which honestly is kind of fantastic. The only reason Zeke killed all of those people is seemingly because he wanted to talk to Ashira, because I think he wanted to mate with her, only to find out that Aiden had just claimed her, and he has like probably the worst possible reaction to this information.
Oh wow. Congratulations. It smells recent. It smells familiar.
Ew, what the heck? Ew, why would he say that?
Impressive, Alpha Aiden. You smell like cum.
Either way, this creates a whole drama surrounding the rogue wolves and Zeke that will be expanded upon later. But before we continue on with this riveting tale of wolves and drama, this video is sponsored by Sofi. Sofi is the ultimate finance app and a new kind of bank that doesn't believe in account fees. It's fully mobile, tracks your spending, and you can manage your money right in the app. You might still be using the bank that your parents set you up with in like high school or something, but let's be honest here, folks, you can do so much better. If you're a student, you can sign up for a Sofi checking and savings account with a .edu email address, fund it with $10 or more, and Sofi will give you a $30 cash bonus. Setting up direct deposit, for example, if you get a regular paycheck, also unlocks some great benefits. You can get paid up to 2 days early and earn up to $300. And another great feature of Sofi is their Vault feature, where you can save and track your progress towards different goals. For instance, I don't know, go into a road trip to every Bubba Gump in the United States and Canada, which we are not doing, by the way. Everyone keeps asking us that we're not going to do that. Eddie and I don't want to eat that much shrimp. You could do it. You can do that if you want, and you could save up for it with Sofi. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get up to a $30 cash bonus when you sign up with a .edu email and fund your Sofi account with $10 or more. Thank you to Sofi for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it, baby. Okay, so where were we? Oh yeah. Next up, the Gamma of the pack, Seth, returns home for the first time, and he's instated as basically Ashira's bodyguard. So later on, Ashira and Seth head over to this guy Titus's house. He's the head guard of the Prime Pack, and he's getting blamed for letting the 6 members die in the attack because he was, and I quote, too distracted to fight back.
His negligence. He was too distracted to fight back.
They don't explain what he was, like, what was he distracted by? Was he just on his phone? We also learned that Titus's wife died in the attack too, which is a problem for Ashira because she knows that he'll be attracted to her because she's a stealer. And she is absolutely right, because Titus immediately tries to kiss her.
This is incredible.
Dude, give yourself some time to grief, man. That's like hitting on someone at a funeral, but a funeral for your wife. This is like the day after his wife died. And then Titus gets like mad and totally flips the script and starts blackmailing Ashira because now he knows she's a stealer and tries to get her to go to Aiden so that he can get his job back. So Ashira tries to convince Aiden to forgive Titus, but Aiden is super stubborn, but also keeps asking if she's asking what she's asking, like over and over again.
I think you should give Titus another chance.
Another chance?
Yeah.
Think I should give him another chance?
Yeah, that's why she brought it up.
What, you think I should give him a second chance?
Yes. And then he just says no.
You thought wrong. Because I'm the alpha. I make the rules around here.
I'm the alpha, I'm the leader. And the next day he apologizes to Ashira for going all alpha on her, but also says that she should never question him again.
Ashira, sorry. Don't question my decision next time.
Very soon after, Aiden finds out that Ashira is a stealer and confronts her about it, and then Aiden and Nick beat up Seth for hiding this information from Aiden. While Ashira secretly watches, for someone who has alpha powers and the sense of a wolf, Aiden is incredibly unaware of Ashira's presence. Wouldn't he be able to at least smell her if he wasn't directly sitting in her line of sight? Maybe he's getting those old dog cataracts. So Aiden's really pissed about Ashira's lie of omission, but they end up banging anyways. They still bang.
You hungry?
How could I be hungry when I
just gave you.
Ooh, banned, jail, right to jail.
Right to jail, right away.
Am I allowed to take the writers to criminal court for this? So another thing I start beginning to think about at this point in the movie is like, what do these people do for work? Obviously at one point Ashira is at a clothing store, so there's some level of economy going on, but nobody's going into detail of what their work entails. Even later on in the movie, Nick says this to Ashira.
You see, your alpha here has been delegating his work to me ever since he met you.
And Aiden also says,
You know, Nick was always good with the paperwork.
The paperwork? What are you talking about? What paperwork? Are they keeping records? For what purpose? Why are they doing that? Is there a larger governmental body that audits the packs? Is there a wolf IRS? What a strange piece of lore to drop in here. Anyways, at this point, for some reason, we've got Alpha Jacob from the Shadow Pack visiting the Prime Pack, and he's brought his Luna, who also happens to be Ashira's friend Lucy. Lucy immediately reveals to Ashira that this dude's been cheating on her all the time. And then she drops some kind of unnecessary and strange lore on what happens to female mates when the male wolf cheats on them.
Feeling cramps in my belly, and all of a sudden these bruises started showing up on my chest and stomach. You probably don't know this, but if your mate begins having sex with others, those awful things will happen to your body.
Just seems like it sucks more than anything to be a female wolf in this world. You go catatonic when you're horny, men have to claim you in order to get anything done, and Ashira, even though she's the protagonist, doesn't really make a single choice for herself. Pretty much all of the events of this story kind of happen to her, with whether she likes it or not. She's kind of just like a bucket floating down a river. Lucy then enlists the help of Ashira to help her go escape to the north. So they go do that. But then during that ordeal, she runs back into Zeke. And while she's missing, Aiden and Nick are running around Twilight style all over the forest. And it turns out that Zeke needs Aiden to give his mother some of his blood in order to save her life. That's the entire reason Zeke came to the Prime Pack in the first place, I think. Gotta say, doesn't totally explain why they had to kill 6 people to get that point across. I guess they just got carried away. Aiden agrees to this. And we cut to a scene with Zeke's mom, who is for some reason wearing like fucking 9-inch heels while she's essentially on her deathbed.
How are you feeling today?
Not good.
So Aiden cuts his hand open and she just kind of nuzzles up to his hand and instantly recovers.
Thank you, Alpha Aiden. I feel fully recovered already.
Okay, so next up, we're introduced to the leader of the Ravenous Pack, Elon. They're supposed to be signing a treaty, but they also just attacked the Prime Pack, like maybe 4 minutes before this scene.
The Ravenous Pack has attacked. They're declaring war.
What?
But Elon is like, I didn't tell those shitheads to do that. And Aiden's like, well, you represent them, so it's kind of still your fault. And Elon's like, okay, still signing that treaty though, right? And Aiden's like, fine, but I'm pissed. Then Ashira and Aiden bang again, and then reflect on that bang in completely different clothing. And we actually see their wolves for the first time in like an hour, where they're just marveling at the beauty of their wolves in the pond.
Oh my god, your wolf is so beautiful. So colorful. That's really amazing.
If they reveal at the end that this is just a community of people acting out a long-term LARP scenario, I would believe it almost immediately. Then all of a sudden, Ashira gets kidnapped by Elon out of nowhere. He's got Ashira in a fucking dungeon like an asshole.
You're mine now, kitten. I can do anything. And you can't do anything but cry.
Was this script written by an 8-year-old? I'm a super duper freaking cool alpha wolf, and all you can do is cry and wee-wee in your diaper, which is actually a thing that babies do. And also something I do not do, because I'm the alpha. Also, the stakes are super high because Ashira's pregnant now. And also, Elon gets a potion from his mom that lets him steal a stealer, because he's trying to steal Ashira for some fucking reason. So he gives her this curse that brainwashes her and causes her to lose her memories. The next episode, which is 10 seconds later, we're cutting to Aiden saving Ashira. Apparently, he killed Elon, the largest antagonist of this story, off screen, which is so wild because they spend like a half an hour hyping up how conniving and evil this Elon guy was. And he's kidnapped Ashira and he's poisoning her and then he's gone, never to show up again. So now Ashira thinks that Elon is the father of her child and she doesn't recognize Aiden. So Aiden, the cool-headed leader that he is and being fully aware of Ashira's condition, decides to reason with her.
How dare you come into my room?
It's my pack. I make the rules around here.
You are heartless.
You're the heartless one. You know nothing. I killed that guy because he stole it. Don't you ever forget that.
Stop being brainwashed. Don't you know you're not supposed to do that? I didn't tell you could do that. I'm the alpha. Lucy has to come in and be like, dude, you're escalating things right now. And also, forgot to mention this one. When did Ashira get to a 3rd trimester pregnancy? Is she gonna give birth to the Antichrist? Is that what's going on here? Eventually things cool down a bit and Ashira and Aiden are in the backyard. And out of nowhere, in comes the Alpha King.
Alpha Aiden, the Prime Pack. This is your king. No need to worry.
I came to help.
He's the king of all of the packs, and he just kind of shows up unprompted. Looking for me? The king of all the packs? Did somebody say Alpha King? This is like the king of England popping into someone's backyard. Where the fuck did he come from? He's also kind of like a genie because he says he can remove Ashira's curse, but their baby is not going to have like wolf powers. But Aiden ultimately decides to follow through with the ceremony.
Alpha King. Is this
Dang, dude. Alpha King does not give a single shit. But now everything is good. Ashira is cured, and now they have to decide on a name for their baby. Of course, as the Alpha, Aiden gets to decide on this name.
I should name him Quillian.
Quillian? Quillian. Where the fuck did that come from? As far as I know, this is just a random name. I think he just likes the way it sounds, or he just made it up on the spot. That sounds like a name that you would make up on the spot. But she gives birth to Quillian, everything is all in good, and there's a party at the end where Beta Nick is dancing like this.
Yeah, he really went all out for this.
Yeah, and how's your hunt going?
And I'm about 95% sure that this is one of the final takes of the film shoot, because that is the behavior of an actor that has totally checked out of their character. Either way, that was Call Me Alpha. Now, I told you guys at the beginning of this video that there was a very specific way that I found this movie. So finally, I get to reveal to you how I did. Ashira, would you come in here? This is my friend Mia, who also happens to be the actress that plays Ashira in Call Me Alpha.
Hello, people of the world.
So this is how I found out about this film, because she was working on this film, and the whole time she was saying, you gotta make a video on this. How did you find out about this role for Call Me Alpha in the first place?
Actually, I got asked, I think like 4 days before the production, I got an email that was like, hey, take a little read over the script and let us know what you think. It starts shooting in 4 days. And I was like, I gotta make rent for these. And I've done a few of these short series, but for this one specifically, it was 10 days straight.
Oh my
12
God.
hours a day. About anywhere
Just
between...
wolfing it up.
Yeah, when
Like-
I got the pitch, it was like photos of Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, so this is like exactly what I thought, exactly what they were trying to go for.
Oh yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
It seemed like they were trying to go for like Bella and Edward kind of relationship.
Yeah,
with,
yeah, it's like if you took Twilight and 50 Shades of Grey and then Fanfiction.
and then told it to a person and then hit them with a bus. And then they were like, write what you remember of that story. What was the script like when you first got it for this movie?
Uncompleted.
What does that mean?
To no fault of the production, because we were all employees. Like the producers and the crew were like amazing. The script when we got it was not the final script, nor was it really in English.
Oh.
I mean, no, it was in English, but it wasn't. Let's just say that there was a lot of improv work. There were several moments that I do remember where we all kind of just looked at each other and were like, yeah, we're gonna change that. Yeah.
Was this the first type of vertically shot
Yeah.
project you had done before?
This was my first one.
Really?
It led to many more.
Because there's this one portion at the beginning of the movie, beginning at the mating party, which is, by the way, I think a crazy name.
It's a sex party intrinsically.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's like, it's just a fancy way of calling it a sex party. But there's like this one shot where it's like you're with Lucy, and then Mila comes in, and then Nick comes in from the left, and then
I know what it
Mila leaves, and then
I think that was the last shot of the entire production. Like that was
Really?
Martini. Safe to say that most of this production we were one take wonders because we were also shooting anywhere between like 15 to 38 pages a day. I think that was like the max.
so that sounds insane. Was it stressful?
Yeah, but
Was there any explanation in the script or anything you were told? Ashira and Aiden banging to all of a sudden you are in a third trimester pregnancy. Like you bang at one point, and then like maybe I think no more than 2 days happens, and then you're fully pregnant.
well, time has passed, Ted.
It took them 9 months to figure out where you were.
Well, oh, that's a good point.
You did a good job for
Thank
what you
you.
were given, I think. You know?
Thank you. I do appreciate
One of my favorite moments. You're paired up with the Aria girl, and she takes you to your room, and then immediately after that, you're like, "Where's Aiden?
Aiden.
You were just with him."
We talked about that the day we were filming it. We were like, didn't we
uh,
just film a scene where we were just
And what was the response? Well,
Listen, well,
was that in the script that you were washing your shirt?
I was supposed to swim in this pond and I was not. I did not swim in this pond because there are catfish in this pond. In fact, actually, that's lore. Every time I would put the shirt down, catfish would think it's food and I'm...
You hate fish. That is a fun piece of lore about you. You hate fish.
It was
Huge
a
person.
catfish farm.
Oh, this is a catfish farm?
Yes.
Was there
No.
any deleted scenes from this? Really? Why were they deleted? What were the scenes about?
There was one sex scene that was, dare I say, a little grapey.
Oh, good that they got rid of that.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good. There was another scene where I think we turned into the wolves.
They was supposed to be VFX, you turned into
Oh, yeah.
wolves. Oh, that would have been the best. What's the deal with the name Quillian?
So we have a theory, and we talked about this intensely, but we think that they meant to write William, and then it just kind of got fucked up, and then
because it's right next to Q on the fucking keyboard.
And then we had already filmed the scene saying Quillian.
That's a name I have never, ever heard before.
That's what we saw that name, we were like, so his name is Quillian now.
That is so funny. Well, thank you for offering some insight onto this. And my good friend Mia, Ashira in Call Me Alpha.
Please hire me.
All right, get out of here. Now get out of here, you fucking bastard. Get the fuck out of here. You that fucking asshole.
Let's do it again. Done a million takes of this, but my strength is unlike anything anyone's ever known.